Hi. I know this might seem a bit strange, but you are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, and it's not just for a PUBG stream. We do have, in fact, a wild bibby. I'll read bib.
Hello, Graham. This is genuinely the first Monday that I've worked this month.
I know, absolute madness. I mean, I've not worked any days this month, but I just make it look like I do. So, you know, this is... Let's go! Anyway, if you are watching this, welcome into the stream. My name is Graham Day. I'm joined by the man that we call Bib. This isn't Bib. This is Tito, but this is Bib. Yeah, you know, is it same, different, still same. Yeah. But welcome in. How you doing? Hey, if you are in the chat, please do feel free to get involved. We're going to be here for the next hour or so, bringing you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories to the world of video games, as we do each and every single... actually, do you know what? I can't even say that right now. We've not been live bringing you the scoop for 3 weeks, but that's fine. Yeah. That is fine. And do you know what? What I can do now is tell you that we have an incredible studio setup. For those of you that have been to the ICU studio, and we've had about 20 odd of you in, we brought 20 odd people in for a meetup last year. The space was good. It was a little bit cramped, and it wasn't really fit to have a bunch of people in. We've made some big changes to our studio space. So when we get a chance, hopefully within the next month or so, we're gonna do one of those like MTV Cribs videos where you do the speed up walking from behind and shit, and walking like Bibby standing in front of his. So this is my plasma, like that sort of stuff. We're gonna do one of those videos because our studio setup is incredible. For anyone that's been into the studio, Bibby had a corner. It was our production corner. We've moved that, which has made us have a shitload of space inside the studio, and we now have what we call the editing den. But if you work in TV production or media production, it's basically a gallery, a separate gallery area, which looks fucking amazing. Anyway, we're not going to spoil it with a few pictures. Just yet. We might put some pictures out on the Jelly Media social media, which might be a bit spoilery. But you know, it is what it is. But we will make a video for ICU because that's the reason why we've been off for a few weeks. We had an event coming up, which we can talk about now because it's happened. It hadn't been announced when we were doing the scoop, so we couldn't speak about it. But basically, Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a game. Hey, we work with Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championships, the WCS, is taking place this summer, and they wanted to do a live stream for building up the road to WCS. And that's where our studio came in. We had an event that was going to happen in the studio. We had a studio that we knew we needed to do some upgrades on. But just it's effort. You do the upgrades, you've got to take some time off air, and obviously it costs money and stuff anyway, but we had the money there because all you guys support us with all bits and subs and stuff. That's where it all goes. Everyone always says every penny that comes in goes back into the channel. Well, we have the luxury of having jobs alongside this, so all the money that comes in literally goes back into the channel and building the quality of the content, and we will be able to once again show you that. So yeah, for those of you that saw ICU Studio V2, which is where we went from the blue walls to the big beautiful thing that we've got now. Yep. This is like, I suppose, V3, although most of it isn't on stream, but hopefully it means that we get the opportunity to do a lot more bigger, better, sexy, beautiful content, and invite a bunch of you people into the studio when we make that sort of content too. So hey. Although this talking at length, I'm not used to it. I'm out of breath now.
He is knackered.
Anyway, studio talk aside, we are here to give you our thoughts and impressions of the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We are live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, where we go live usually each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.
Ish.
It's now 3:30 in the afternoon. But we knew that was going to happen. It's Monday. It is what it is. Anyway, but if you are in the stream, even though it's not 10 a.m.-ish, please do feel free to get involved over the next hour or so, because we may be live on Twitch, but the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music and Google Play. So please do feel free to get involved on behalf of everyone that does watch and listen on demand. And I can confirm that there has been over 200,000 people that have done that. So please do feel free to jump in on behalf of those. If you are in the stream, a little reminder, we have a little thing called the loot drop, which we did a couple of weeks ago. So the first Monday of the month, one subscriber bags a prize. Subscribers gets prizes or wonders each and every single month on this channel. That took place a couple of weeks ago. We gave away a game that couldn't be played by someone, and we gave them a hat and said, hey, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah. But It's not the end of it, because we'll have the same again next month and the month after. So if you are watching this channel and you think, you know what, I've got a Prime, there might be some ads popping up soon, I'd like to win some free gear, then do feel free to throw your subs down. And if you want to throw a longer sub down, pay for it, whatever, we'd appreciate that too. But you absolutely do not have to. We're just letting you know that we'd reward you for doing so, because we like to give a little bit back. Nice.
5th it's going to be. 5th of June.
Oof, 2 weeks today. 2 weeks today.
Yeah. The first is a Thursday, which is actually my wedding anniversary. Do you know I'm only working 2 days again next week, Graham? It feels like I've genuinely been off for like a month.
Is it bank holiday next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So bank holiday Monday, I'm in Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it's my wedding anniversary on the Thursday, and then we go to American Pies in Manchester on the Friday, which I'm super fucking excited about.
I hope that you get the American Pies that I see on my Instagram and not what I got on the one time I ordered it. It was crap, but it was Deliverooed, and it was just dry. So it was lockdowny sort of time when it just opened. So, but the pictures on Insta just smash.
So I'm super looking forward to that next Friday. But yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Genuinely, like, I feel like I've used all my holidays up already, but May and June is just like people's birthdays, wedding anniversary at the end of the month, as well as a million bank holidays this month. I mean, it's normal for most people to go away for a week in May because, you know, when you don't have kids or you have kids young enough to not have to pay school holiday prices, you tend to do it around that. But yeah, it's been a bit carnage over the last couple of weeks.
Honestly, let me jump into the split screen before you disappear again. Yes, just before we go any further, a couple of things to mention. Shout out to our sponsors, as always. GTMega, ! Chair in the chat if you want the links to these beautiful chairs that me and Bibba sat on. !Astro if you want to get involved with any of our headset stuff. Obviously, using those links will give you affiliate codes which do support us. #ad. But also, shout out to Astro. And when I say Astro, I mean the Logitech family. Obviously, we are partnered with Astro, and by proxy, are partnered with Logitech G, Blue microphones, and Ultimate Ears, I think it is, which is a brand that does like speakers and things like that. But last week I got invited to the Logitech Creator Masterclass in Manchester, which was an incredible event. It was Logitech putting on an event to not sell their products to you. It was Logitech putting on an event for creators to share tips with each other creators to make them successful. Because Logitech realizes that if a creator is successful and reps Logitech, then Logitech's successful. That's how it works. So they put on a wonderful event that was not even soft sell. There was no sell. In fact, they gave us some free shit to leave with. So we have 2 Astro A10 headsets to give away, by the way, at some point over the next few weeks. So if you've got a headset that's failing, you want something that's nice, then do feel free to stick around, because we'll be doing some giveaways at some point. But hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Well, hopefully over the next month or so, I'm going to try and get as many adverts, as many different reviews, breakdowns of the products that we actually have, whether or not that'll be Logitech mouses, whether or not that'll be Logitech. Is it mice or mouses?
Mice.
Is it mice?
Moose.
Mises. The power pad. Sorry, is it the power pad?
It's the Power Play mouse, man.
Power Play mouse, Matt. Keyboards, whatever else that we've got from all of our sponsors. I'm going to try and pull some adverts, reviews, whatever you want to call them. We've got scripts written, which they've been written for an awfully long time. We just
stop being busy, babe. Honestly,
I know. Well, we always say the work comes first, you know what I mean? But with our studio looking as swanky as it is, with our brand new cameras, we've got low cams, we've got side cams, we've got far away cams with different lenses and stuff like that. I feel like now is probably the perfect time for us to be able to try and make these products look as good as they actually are in use.
Just stick them in the gallery. We've got some cool lighting in the gallery, which just looks badass. That's all we need. Just throw stuff in there. Job's good. Anyway, let me jump back for a second. Let me see who is in the stream. Dr. Mike, good morning. Hey, how you doing? Dr. Mike was absolutely smashing it on stream earlier on. I was partially influential in getting him a 110 viewer raid earlier on from Wobbly. I think it was me and Shoots. Wobbly was like, he'd got a big raid himself from Candy and was like, I want to pass this love on. So I was like, Dr. Mike. Shoots the same thing. So yeah, good people. Shout out to Dr. Mike as well. He gave me his helmet. Oh, sorry, I realised what that sounds like. What I mean to say is he gave me his shiny pink helmet Wait, no, actually, what I mean this, obviously, it's a PUBG helmet.
Balls in this up.
God, what you guys thinking about? God. P. Honey says, wait, what? Is it Wednesday already? Have I lost days? No, we are actually back, scooping full-time every day this week, apart from one of the days this week. Yeah, so we'll be scooping today, probably tomorrow, and then Wednesday. But not Thursday, because Thursday is Format Manchester. We started off an unintentional hype train. So we decided to support Format because it's a local event for us, literally walking distance from my house. And that turned into something ridiculous because the PUBG community from the UK ran with it, and now there is 30 people dropping into our city on Thursday, and it's an absolute pleasure to have people in there. If you are going to Format Manchester, make sure you check out the ICU Discord and in the Format channel. I've put a question in there regarding burgers and stuff, and we're going to need to take some sort of burgery ordery sort of thing, but I want to make sure everyone is happy with the plan for burgers. Basically, we want to sit in Great Northern Square just next to Impossible, which is where Format Manchester's taking place. Take over that whole fucking amphitheatre thing and just eat burgers and have good times. But I want to make sure everyone's happy with that. And if we are, then we're going to get a burger drop sorted. Nice.
Yeah.
Neil! Damn. I thought it was going to be in the studio. Probably tomorrow. Although if we are in the studio tomorrow, apart from different audio devices, we have new mics in the studio, you won't see much different. On stream, it will be pretty much the same because all of the work that we've done has gone into making content easier to scale. So if we do an event, like let's say we decide, end of the year comes in and we think, do you know what? It's time for another Rumble. Let's get another Royal Rumble or something coming along. We can do that without having to rip apart the studio as much, because last time we'd have to plumb in new microphones and plumb in this, that, and the other. And when you're using multiple USB microphones through one PC, sort of two PC setup, you still blah, blah. So we've basically put a lot of effort into making sure that stuff will still be disruptive when it comes to content, but hopefully not as much, and hopefully it's easier for us to get more out of the top end as well. Lotus Moist. Plum Rico, welcome in. Good day to you, gents. It's been a while. How are you diddling? It has been a while. Hey, how you doing? No Premier League trophy in Bibby's room. Disappointed. It's only because
I am the trophy.
By the time it gets there, it'll you'd have to give it back, and 115 other things as well.
Case number 1056 for Man City invading the pitch. I mean, I fucking hate pitch invasions anyway. Like, I don't want to say. I mean, it sounds ridiculous now, but it doesn't. It strikes me as a bit small time. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. we've already won the league. It wasn't the Aguero moment. Do you know what I mean? Where emotions were already running high because we already won it before a ball was even kicked. So there's no need for helmets just to be running on the fucking pitch. And yeah, I understand. Obviously, fans want to be able to get the picture and stuff like that, but I feel more for the players who have obviously done all the graft and can't have that 5-minute celebration on the pitch. They have to wait 25 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes for the pitch to clear, and then they can have all of the trophy lift and stuff like that. But I just want to see the players at the end of the game not being escorted off the pitch in threats of people fucking coming up to them and punch them in the face or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I mean, I understand the words you're saying, but you don't want to see Big John, the engineer from Sheetwork Metallic Fabrication down the road, doing a worm on the fucking pitch.
I mean, that was fucking legendary. When you got a City title celebration at 6, but a Rikishi tag team at 7. Fucking quality, that.
Fucking Paddy Power nailing it. Shout out to, I think it was Chappers that put that in the Discord. If you are in our Discord, we do have a number of off-topic channels, like there's IRL football if you want to talk football, there's humour and meme stuff, and sometimes you get a little bit across between the two. So we had an IRL football humour meme thing, which was good. Nice. Oh, chatbot, he's dead. Neil, I appreciate you trying to do that. Chatbot open. Nice. I had 2 power cuts in the last 24 hours. Not Sky, but entire house. So my PC has been off twice.
House in the chat.
I was gobsmacked. I'd smack you right in the gob, mate. If you talk about United again, mate. I mean, love you, Doctor. Cookies. Hey, how you doing? Hey, look who's back. Arno, couple of days off, 3 weeks. But who's counting? You guys were clearly. Let me make sure everything is connected. Everything should be good. Give us another exclamation mark Discord now, Neil. I think it'll work. Had my first wing stop last night. Was lovely. See, I've heard the words wing stop, but I don't know enough. Is that the one that's like you buy just wings? Like, I mean, obviously they probably have size like fries and stuff like that, but is that what they specialize in? Like barbecue wings, whatever wings and stuff?
I'm fairly certain it's the one where you can buy just one wing if you wanted to, and it's like 15p for a wing, or if you wanted one with sauce, it might be 20p or something like that. But yeah, rather than it being a portion of like £5 or whatever, you can just buy as many as you think you can eat.
There's a place in Manchester, I think it's called something like Bunny Jackson's or something, and that's similar sort of thing. You go in and it's like 50p for a wing, and you can have as many as you want, and some of them are ridiculously spicy. Mm-hmm. See, I'm not a big fan of wings. I like chunks of meat. I'm a big breast fan, mate. You can't say that without getting some sort of comments, so I thought I'd get there before you all. But yeah, I like a nice whopping breast rather than a skinny bit of scatty grey meat on a wing. But I just wish that the wings in the UK were like what you get when you always see these fucking TikToks or Vines back in the day of people that will hold up a wing and then just kind of twist one end, take out 2 fucking bones, plop it and chew it. And it's like, you do that in the UK, you take out the 2 bones, there is about 10% of that wing left. What have you done to your chicken stomach? The big fat arms like that, goddamn. Champions League is the one you want, right?
No. If I had to choose now between the FA Cup and the Champions League, I'm choosing FA Cup based on the fact that fucking we're playing United in the final. Genuinely, that is my own thing. Like, media manufactured bullshit of City, Liverpool, now City, Arsenal this year. I don't give a fuck about any of them 2 teams. When it comes down to football, there's only 2 teams that I have a love and a hate for. And one of them is City, which obviously I love, and then United, which I hate. I'll do anything to upset United fans. And if that includes beating them at Wembley, that's absolutely fine. I'm not saying we will. That is definitely not an admission that we are going to absolutely spank you, despite what United fans have been saying. They don't think that they've got a chance. But genuinely, it's one of these seasons where we look fucking terrifying, and then United come and just steamroll us. Like, we had this 4 years ago at the Etihad when we could have won the Premier League at home against United, and we was 2-0 up at half time, and Paul Pogba probably had the best game of his life and scored 2 in the second half. And I think you ended up actually winning 3-2, which was fucking the most typical City thing that you're ever going to get. So yeah, if I had to choose between that and a Champions League right this very second, I'm choosing fucking beating United at Wembley every single day of the week. Yeah, every single day.
It's a cup tie, so anyone could win. I mean, if you want to put your money on the smart option, it would be City winning. But United could beat City on any day. City could beat United on any day. But add into that the cup, everything goes. Like, all it takes is, who was it? I want to say it was David Silva. I can't remember. Was it FA Cup a bajillion, 2 or 3 years ago? We played City and you basically conceded to was it Martial first minute or something like that, and then that was it. You were on the back foot, and we didn't have to push an attack. We can't fucking build up a solid attack. So if you guys are like sitting back, already got one in the tank, and you're like, yeah, go on then, we're screwed. But if we do it to you, then we can potentially hit you on the counter kind of thing.
Yeah, 11 men behind the ball. It's just going to open up so much space for you guys. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting 3 weeks. For City fans, I still don't think that we're going to do the treble. I think that we might end up picking one of the 2 cups up, whether or not it be a Champions League or an FA Cup. I've not got my heart set on that.
It's probability, like you times probability by probability if you've got 2 separate cases kind of thing, which means that you're much less likely to win the both of them. But on an individual basis, you are more likely to beat United than lose, and you are more likely to beat Inter Milan than lose. But a European football night against Inter Milan, as they're not the team that they were, absolutely not. But they're in the Champions League final for a reason, because they can grind out a result in Europe. So this is where I'm petty now, because I would absolutely give up the FA Cup for you guys to not get the treble and still not have a Champions League with your trophy. I mean, and
that's the rivalry that you want, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the love-hate sort of thing you're on about. Yeah. I don't want my team to to lose, and I wouldn't back my team to lose, and I would never want them to go into something losing. But if us losing the FA Cup, if someone said to me right now, okay, you've already won a trophy, you're not getting the FA Cup, but City do not get a treble and City do not get a Champions League, will you take it? I'm like, yeah, go on then, fuck it, fuck the FA Cup.
Absolutely.
We've got one trophy already. I know it's a Mickey Mouse one, but it's same, absolutely. Kenny, thank you for the 5 months, dude. I appreciate that. How you doing? I was trying to keep an eye on the 50 versus 50 last night, but I was ticking off my dailies in and amongst power cuts and also a marathon of the Scream films, because we got the new Scream to watch. So we were like...
we started that last night.
What, the new one?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It is really good. And then you get like 40 minutes into it and they keep on referring back to Scream 4 and you're like...
Well, that's it. If you watch Scream 5, they mentioned Scream 4 in that. I've seen Scream 4 once because it was shit.
Yeah.
And also, I've seen Scream 3 a couple of times a million years ago. We watched Scream 1 just by chance a couple of months ago. We watched Scream 2 on Friday night, I think it was, Saturday night maybe. And we watched Scream 3 last night. So now we'll watch Scream 4, which will help us when we watch Scream 5 for the second time. Like, that's all the stuff they were referring that I didn't remember. And then we're going to Scream 6.
Yeah, it's a nice little timeline, but if it's been like 18 months, 2 years since you watched the previous one, you're probably better off going back and watching that first just to get scrubbed up again.
Yeah. No, it's different to that, babe. It's 8, 10, 12, and you get a half in one flavour and about 10 choices. We'll send a link to it on the Discord. Also, chicken tenders were sensational. Tenders, that's me.
Oh, yeah.
Get yourself some slim chicken. Ooh.
Did you know that there's a slim chicken in Sainsbury's near you?
Get to fuck. What, on Regent?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm
the one near Eaton Park.
Actually, to be fair, I'm saying Regent Road. That's a long old road, so I'm not doxing myself there. It's fine.
Yeah. We'll say the one near Eaton Park. We stopped there to go and get Joseph a hat when we was going around Eaton Park on Saturday. And outside, they've got the big sign that says, like, Sainsbury's Cafe or whatever. And it's got 3 other things that I've never heard of, and then I couldn't quite make it out, and I had to get confirmation that it did say Slim Chickens because it had their logo. Obviously, it had their logo, but I was so far away I couldn't see it. I didn't have my glasses. Slim Chickens is in that one right near. It's got American Golf on there as well. Do you know which one I mean?
No, because Eaton Park's still a bit of a mish from us, so we don't often go there. It's actually not that close in the ground. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's close in theory, but the roads, there's only a few roads to get there, but each of those roads are so long and straight that you're actually going for like days before you actually get there. So we don't.
Yeah, it's probably like 10-minute drive. Like I imagine where you're driving, you turn left to go to Eaton Park to get on that car park. But if you carry on going down, there's a Beefeater at the end of the road. Turn left, and then the Sainsbury's is just on your right there. Just past the primary school.
No, I didn't know that was there. But also 10 minutes away is the Trafford Centre. So
I was just about to say, yeah, I didn't know how far away it was from your house.
I think they've opened, or they're opening one in the Arndale as well. So there's 10 minutes that way, and so just basically put one fucking here, and then you can sort out all of the other 10 minutes. God damn.
They drive 25 minutes for all of that shit.
Power cuts, rough life in Mank. Yeah, last night we had a power cut, and it was one of those where you're trying to find out from your neighbours if they've lost power. Went 3 doors down, because that was the first neighbour that was in. Sunny day, everyone's out. That neighbour had power. Went 3 doors down the other way, because everyone was out again. They had power. We were like, oh, great, something's blown in our house. That's fucking horrendous. We'll be with you in up to 6 hours. Great stuff. And then they rang us back about 20 minutes later, said, no, one of your other neighbours has rung up now. There's definitely an underground fault. It's not you. You don't have to wait in. Jobs are good. And then within an hour, it was back on again. I was like, nice. And then again, last night, it went off again. And or was it this morning? It might have been. But yeah, fun times. Fun times.
Well, that happened to me 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, when I had a fucking digger outside my house at midnight.
I was literally talking to Danielle. I was like, it was dropping you off after the stream on Friday. And I was saying to Danielle, like, I was thinking about, as I was dropping you off, because the last time I saw that street was when you sent me a picture of it full of diggers and stuff. And I was thinking, like, I don't remember the last time we've had a power cut. It was when Chloe was about 3, and it lasted for hours. And then we were in bed, and all the lights kicked on at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So we had to go and turn everything off. The house alarms going and everything. And I was thinking, I don't remember the last time we had a power cut. Twice in a day. Fuck's sake. Don't think that shit, great.
The alarms going off are the worst part. Like, because we didn't know when the power was going to come back on, everybody's alarm on the street just went off at the same time. Obviously, when the power came back on again, it's not obviously you can take the battery out because it's wired into the mains. So yeah, it's just, I fucking hate power cuts. Not the fact that I don't have anything to be able to use, but you never know when it's coming back on. Baby's asleep. Fucking alarms going off all over.
So frustrating though, because you're like, I was going to log on and do my Fortnite dailies. I can unlock Darth Maul today. I told you I was just about to log on. I was like, fuck's sake. And well, Danielle's like, okay, well, if you're not jumping on them, you can help me with some bits. So I was like, yeah, what do you want me to do? And she's like, do the washing up if you want. We can't because we can't get any hot water. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But that doing the washing up came from the fact that we do have a dishwasher, but we couldn't use the dishwasher because there's no electricity. So we thought we'll just do the washing up, but we can't do the washing up because there's no electricity. So okay, I'll go back the stairs again. You can see where this is going. No, you won't. No, you won't. So yeah, basically just sat there like, well, hi, I'm Graham.
This is fun. Yeah.
Nice. Anyway. So enough of that. It's all good, buddy. Can't wait for format. Just a few days now, Kenny. Looking forward to it. By the way, Amaretto and Coke for both of us. Nice one. Cheers, mate. All right. It's all right. I'll get you back. I'll get you one back. You did say a tall glass of water, boys. Right? Tall glass of water. Let's go. I've whacked a message in the WhatsApp for people to reply to you on Discord. Let's go. Just so that they're aware. If they're happy with that, the weather is going to be incredible in Manchester, according to the weather apps at the moment. It's going to be incredible on Thursday. So just sitting in there. There is a little bit of shade with the Great Northern bit just behind it, and we're right next to where we need to be. So if we can just get that burger place to rock up and almost like Del Boy it out the back of a van or a boot or whatever, and just have 30 burgers, 15 chicken, 15 beef, or whatever people order, Kevin Bacon fries. So basically, this I've not actually confirmed this with that burger place yet, but they do two burgers that are really, really good. They do all sorts of burgers, but they've got a California Dreamin', which is an award-winning beef burger, and then there's a California Dreamin' chicken burger. So basically, if we keep it to that, it keeps it easy for us to order, easy for us to dish stuff out when people get there, easy for them to make it and ship it down, because you don't want to be in that situation where, I ordered the chicken Parmesan pesto burger with wedges, and it's like, okay, well, we've got no wedges and there's no Parmesan, so do you want a chicken burger? So if we keep it that, like beef or chicken, easy dubs. Do you want plain fries or Kevin Bacon fries? And if you don't want Kevin Bacon fries, then we should not be speaking to each other because what the fuck, they're fucking amazing. And then a can of drink. Jobs are good. And smash your can of drink, smash your fries, smash your burger, go into format, get frosty. Nice. It says toasty, but stay frosty. Nice.
Stay
nice.
toasty.
I'm happy with anything. Let's go. Okay, well, tell you what, if you are happy with anything, you will be happy to know that Mortal Kombat is back. But it's going back. But it's not going back. Or is it going back? I don't know. But anyway, Ed Boon
the size of this moth
wants you to know that moth is massive. Thank you very much for that, Tiny Yoda. No, Ed Boon wants you to know that Mortal Kombat 1 is a reboot and not a remake. So if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, if you remember playing Mortal Kombat back in the day, well, Mortal Kombat has just gone, 12 games in now, something like that, and they're like main games, not including the mythologies and the Sub-Zeros and stuff like that. They're going back to the beginning again, but not remaking the original game, rebooting the story and starting afresh. So people that are open to the franchise but have been lost with the franchise can start afresh. And Ed Boon's got a little bit on that. We'll then go through an absolute PlayStation loving, because PlayStation is the best console out there. It's been factually proven by my opinion. Nice.
Confirmed.
Nice. No, we got an article from the PlayStation blog, which is actually it actually came out last week, but we weren't scooping, so we'll go through that. Basically, there is a PlayStation showcase on Wednesday, and it should potentially be a doozy. We'll then talk about PSVR2. We'll then talk about PlayStation games hitting PC. We'll talk about AEW Fight Forever finally getting a release date, and because it's Friday, we'll talk about Free Game Friday. It's not Friday, it's Monday, but we weren't here on Friday, so just go with it. It's fine. Nice. Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat, yes or no?
Yes. I'm not going to say big fan, but I am a fan of Mortal Kombat.
Nice. I mean, do you know what? I would say both of those. I'm not a big fan of Mortal Kombat, but I used to be a massive fan of Mortal Kombat, like the entire world, I suppose. I mean, obviously, fighting games, the FGC fighting game community is not quite the same as it was once upon a time, but if you were a fighting game fan that has lapsed, good news. This is written by Oisin Kuhnke at VG247. It says, Ed Boon wants you to know that Mortal Kombat 1 is a reboot, not a remake. So just ignore Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2, okay? Okay. So Mortal Kombat co-creator Ed Boon would like you to know that Mortal Kombat 1 is a reboot, not a remake, despite the name. Excuse me. Earlier this week, NetherRealm Studios revealed that a new Mortal Kombat game is on the way. One that is starting things over from the beginning with a new universe created by Fire God Liu Kang. But you'd be forgiven for thinking this is a remake of the first game, or even a remake of Mortal Kombat 2011, which is itself a reboot of the series. That isn't the case at all, though, with Boon explaining in a video titled Community Chat with Tyler and Ed why the game has opted to name it that way. Quote, Mortal Kombat 1 is the beginning of a universe, Boon explains. It's not a continuation of the Mortal Kombat 11 story, so the characters have completely different roles in this new timeline, and we really wanted to emphasize that with our title. This is Mortal Kombat 1. It's a brand new beginning. You're not going to be seeing these characters reintroduced with new roles, new relationships. You're going to be, not you're not, so there we go. You are going to be seeing these characters reintroduced with new roles, new relationships, and that's the main catalyst for it. To be crystal clear, the 1 is basically to say this is the start of a new Mortal Kombat continuity, given that there are a whole bunch of things that are just simply called Mortal Kombat, i.e. the original game, the 2011 game, the 90s movie, and the 2021 film. It's not entirely unsurprising that NetherRealm wanted to have something to set it apart just that little bit more. Yeah, hey, what's this, Mortal Kombat? Just brackets, year 2023. The reboot looks to be changing things up in a lot of ways, not just in terms of the new universe. Classic characters like Scorpion, Kitana, and Johnny Cage are all getting reimagined, and there will be a roster of cameo fighters that act as assists during matches. These will be a separate list of fighters and may not necessarily be playable in their own on their own during fights. Mortal Kombat 1 is planned to release on September the 19th on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. Woo. What a year for fighting games, though. We've got Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, I think it was. Now Mortal Kombat 1. 3 of the biggest games that were all releasing pretty much simultaneously. Late 90s, mid 90s, early 90s, whenever it was. Now they're all back and all hitting it. So if you are like me, as a lapsed fighting game fan, that's pretty exciting. But if you are a fighting game fan that has never lapsed, that is very exciting. But for you, Bib, thoughts?
Do you think it's exciting for hardcore players? We'll start with them first. Do you think that it is exciting for hardcore players and huge Mortal Kombat fans that they are rebooting it again from the absolute start? So all of these characters past their history has just been seemingly erased, and they're going to start them again. Potentially, the characters might look a little bit different too, whether or not they do new costumes, different color scheme, different moveset. How do you think the people who have mained this game for the last 25 years are going to feel about that?
I mean, good question. Good question. Do I think it's good for them? I mean, I do. But will they think it's good? Like you say, I'm not sure. Because, I mean, these guys have supported this game for 25 years. They're still playing it day in, day out. But are they an ever-decreasing audience? Because with every game that has a sequel, you lose out on the potential of getting players into it because there's that weight of story. There is that backlog. Which is why when The Last of Us had an opportunity to release part 1, they did, and put it out everywhere, different formats and so on, alongside the TV program, because people go, oh, back to the beginning, we could start again. Because I love the idea of playing The Last of Us Part 2, but I don't have a PS4 anymore, and I didn't get The Last of Us Part 1, and it's not going to be full PS5. Blah, blah. So it almost is a little bit like, yeah, well, this will be for you as well, to the old school players that have played it forever. But I do feel it is a little bit more pointing to new people, and also tying that in. Yeah. It's kind of like an unpolished version of that Last of Us sort of thing. Hey, here's The Last of Us Part 1. Bam! TV series pretty much on top of it. Whereas Mortal Kombat year before went film. Oh, fuck, do you want to start Mortal Kombat again? Let's go! And it was like they've done it out of order with quite a bit of a gap in there. But I do feel in that sort of sense it is the right time because for numbers of reasons, like not only the sequel weight stacking up of Mortal Kombat 11, the next one would be Mortal Kombat 12. Do I really give a shit about going to find out 12 games of story? We were talking about watching Scream 6. That's requiring watching 5 films. So Mortal Kombat 12 requires you to go and play through 11 games across multiple different generations of console to get up to speed with a story. If not, you'll miss a couple of the in-jokes and the nuances. And some of them are fine. Like some in-jokes you won't even know that you're missing. And those are good in-jokes. But it's when people make references to things that you clearly don't know, and you're like, well, I clearly should know that, but I don't know that. And I don't need it for the story to progress. That's fine. But for that specific second, I feel like I'm out of the loop now, and you've made me feel out of the loop. So starting it again removes any potential of that. So rebooting Mortal Kombat for me, as a lapsed fan, that is someone that is open to Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Sonya, the originals, Goro, some Shang Tsung, maybe get into Mortal Kombat 2s with your Kung Laos and stuff like that. By the time we're starting to get into Cyraxes and things like that, I'm not bothered again. It's like Pokemon, the original 151 kind of thing for me. It starts to drop off. So add to that 12 games of storyline and iteration. And potentially, and I can't say this about Mortal Kombat specifically, but I could use it about video games in general. Video game writing 25 years ago and 10 years ago, 15 years ago wasn't, and probably mostly across the board, wasn't as good as video writing today. That sort of cinematic story, adding depth to it. But you've got to build on that because that is canon, that is lore that has been built in. So you're building on these really crap, weak fucking foundations of stories. Starting again means that you can go, do you know what? Fuck that. We'll just start this off again. So for me, is it bad for the fans? I mean, some will probably be disappointed. You can't make something new and keep the old guard happy all the time. But you can't just make stuff for the old guard because then you are working in ever-decreasing circles. So it might upset a few people, but it's still the smart move for me.
Yeah, that's the issue though, isn't it? Like the amount of lore that these characters have and have done for 25 years. I feel like that it's not a direct comparison. I'm not trying to compare either of these franchises. I mean, I could name 3 different franchises. I'm not trying to compare them in any way, shape, or form. But if anyone tried changing the history of, say, Elder Scrolls, and then tried changing the history of Resident Evil and tried to reboot them from nothing, I don't think that sits very well because you've come to understand these characters. I will back them if they said that they were going to reboot them to tell a very similar story like they did when they actually remade the Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 games, because it's not a one-for-one comparison. They've just gone down similar paths but taken a little bit of a fork in the road. And I hope that's what they end up doing with these characters as well, because the characters themselves might be so rich in port. Again, I'm a fan of Mortal Kombat. I'm not a super fan. I don't know much about the characters. I've played through the campaigns of most of the games. Could I tell you now what all of them are? Absolutely not. I literally just play through them just to have a little bit of a fighting game experience, but I'm terrible at them, so I don't tend to spend that much time with them beyond the campaign of them. So I couldn't tell you the lore of each character or anything, but you understand what each character does, their moveset, what their personality is, shall we say. And then I hope that they end up keeping the crux of that. Try to tell maybe the same story, but in a different way. Like you said, story writing's evolved significantly over the last 25 years, and the way that we play video games now is completely different from what it was. Like the first 3 Mortal Kombats, if I remember rightly, were literally just arcade experiences. You knew that there was playing in a fighting tournament called Mortal Kombat. That was pretty much it. There wasn't that much to it. But obviously, as the games have progressed over the years, you've ended up getting a whole campaign around them, very similar to Injustice in the way that they tell a story. It's a fighting game, but just underneath that, there is a little storyline that's going on. Just try and keep you interested and keep the fights relevant. So it's not just you play it, you fight them, you move into the next part of the game, you fight them. Okay, it's a gauntlet. You have to get through 30 different fights to see if you become the champion and stuff. Like we're so far away from that now. Telling stories is obviously the most important thing.
But talking about telling stories, I've just started a poll in the chat. Just one that I'm curious about. Which do you prefer, Scorpion or Sub-Zero? Please do feel free to get involved. Completely off, not off topic, but just relative to the topic. I'm interested. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Levi Derbyshire. I know that name from somewhere. Sounds a bit like finger penis. I don't know. Hey, how you doing?
I mean, I am mortified that it's taken him over a year now to follow this champion. To follow this channel as Super Jim Tendo. Shout out to Super Jim. He's in the chat as well.
Sheep Fragger says, Scorpion, vote with your vote, Sheep. Vote with your vote. You got to click on it. At the moment, Sub-Zero's winning, which is an absolute travesty for the world of video games. Sub-Zero is not cooler than Scorpion. What is this?
Well, technically, he is.
But you have such a good champion. I know, exactly. The champion's got to... There we go. Yeah, we need one more. There's about 10 seconds. Deciding poll. Come on, some Scorpion lover, get involved. 3, 2... Okay, well, it'll probably remain split. There we go. 50-50.
Oh.
I was trying to settle that debate for myself. I mean, I prefer Scorpion. It is what it is. But, yes. So, if you missed it, Mortal Kombat 1 is not a reboot. Is a reboot. It's
fucking
not a remake.
size of this moth.
And do you know what? It works for me. Like I say, I feel like you were talking about, obviously, rebooting Resi and stuff like that. But that is story first. And the gameplay is used to tell that story. Whereas this was fighting game, and then they build a story around it. So, like...
Well, it was an arcade game, wasn't it? I don't think they had,
exactly.
at the time, any intention to bring it to a home console. It was just became so freaking popular that they were just needed to cash in as much as they did. And it's a phenomenon.
I mean, you can tell that they didn't really think about it because it was pretty much the tournament. It's like that was... I mean, it did have an actual name. Was it like the Iron Fist tournament also? I can't remember. Or maybe that's something else. I can't remember. But... if you're referring to something as the tournament, then you've not really thought about the story that much. The fight, the pro story. Yeah, you get the idea. So
well, every arcade game doesn't really have a storyline behind it, does it? It's a coin dump. They want to put you something in a little storyline in the background just to keep you playing and progressing to see how the story ends. But ultimately, the story is highly irrelevant. It's just a case of they want you to keep on putting coins in. And that's essentially what this was. You lose a fight, whack another 50p in. You lose a fight, whack another 50p in. The skill gap, not the skill gap, the, what do you call it? Like a gameplay spike when you get through to a certain point, you win 3 fights in a row, and then the 4th fight, Jesus Christ, you'll never be able to play it. They want you to put £3 in to try and get past it. Like, that's just how arcade games were. They still are now. Remember that we went to Arcade Club and tried doing that Mario and Luigi with the big vacuum thing. Yeah. That if we had to pay for that, we'd have been out £40 easily.
Easy. Smashed it though because we're absolute hardcore ballers.
Obviously,
is what it is. But yeah, for me, rebooting the story. I mean, I'm not their core audience, not anymore. But that is the kind of thing that I want to hear. And maybe that was the decision. They don't want to speak to the core audience because they've had 11 games doing that. And they clearly have done okay over the last few years. I was seeing Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kind of Funny talking about which do people think they'll buy. I didn't actually take part in his poll, but it was like, which do you think will sell more? Tekken 8 or Street Fighter 6? And someone basically went, it doesn't matter because Mortal Kombat is going to shit on all of them because that's just what Mortal Kombat does. But a decade ago, Mortal Kombat was absolutely turgid. But over the last 3 or so Mortal Kombats, they've absolutely nailed it back on. And then added to that crossovers with Terminator and RoboCop and all these other like 80s movie stuff. Adding to that a brand new reboot in terms of the movies. Rebooting in the movies and rebooting the video games at the same time kind of works for me. So it's a good move for me. It's a good move for me. What you picked up there, Bib?
My copy of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
Wow.
That I've had since... I don't even know when this game came out. Did it say on the back? 2002. Yeah, I've had it a long old time.
Even I was still in high school then.
I can't remember if it was any good or not. Genuinely.
It wasn't.
I need to find out.
It wasn't.
Was it not?
I mean, it could have been, to be fair. I only liked Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2 and tolerated Mortal Kombat 3. And then after that, I was like, no, I'm done now. I mean, it was a bit disappointing because that meant I missed out on Mythology's Sub-Zero. And Sub-Zero was meant to be the poster boy of Mortal Kombat. That's why he got the Mythology's game. But the audience just got behind Scorpion. He was meant to be the bad guy, but he was just cool as fuck. So people got behind Scorpion. Get over here.
Well, it got mid-80s, so it obviously couldn't have been that bad.
That's just reviewers not knowing how to place it, so they'll just stick it in that 7 to 8 sort of bracket.
It's a good game. It's not a great game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, moving ahead then. So Ed Boon wants you to be aware that Mortal Kombat 1 is a reboot and not a remake. If you're thinking about getting back into Mortal Kombat, but you don't want the history and weight that comes with 11 video games in the series, not including non-mainline games, well, don't worry. It's fine, because you can start again. Speaking of starting again, PlayStation R. As I click that one, yes, there we go. We use your cookies. Decline, fuck off. PlayStation blog on the 17th of May, which was obviously 5 days ago, said, you're invited. The PlayStation Showcase broadcasts live next Wednesday, May the 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's very Pacific. Okay, a wealth of new games and new IP are headed to PS5 and PS VR2. It's almost time to see what's next. PlayStation Showcase broadcasts live next Wednesday, May the 24th at 1 p.m. Pacific time or 9 p.m. British time. The show will run a bit over an hour, which is a key fact, focusing on PS5, PSVR2 games in development from top studios from around the world. Expect a glimpse of several new creations from PlayStation Studios, as well as spellbinding games from our third-party partners and indie creators. The live broadcast starts next Wednesday, 9 p.m. British time, on YouTube and Twitch. Hope to see you there. Regarding co-streaming and video on demand, we'll cover this, even though we aren't going to co-stream this, by the way. Please note that this web broadcast may include copyrighted content, e.g. licensed music, that PlayStation does not control. We welcome and celebrate our amazing co-streamers and creators, but licensing agreements outside our control could possibly interfere with co-streams or VOD archives of the stream. If you're planning to save this broadcast as a VOD to create recap videos or to repost clips or segments from the show, we advise omitting any copyrighted music. So if you are wanting to create content on this, you can do. Just watch out for the music, because fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. Stick it in track 6 and get rid of that from your VOD. You're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. So big news. PlayStation blog has confirmed that the PlayStation Showcase will be back. PlayStation Showcase. I don't even remember the last time we got one of those. Was the one last year? Maybe there was.
Yeah. But, there was definitely one last year, but I think they're falling so few and far between now. We talk about this all the time, don't we? Like, in terms of marketing messages, they can release them whenever they want. They don't just have to start doing it in between E3 and Gamescom and stuff like that. So I applaud PlayStation on that front, because they only tend to do it when they have something quite significant to show off, in terms of whether or not it'll be a certain IP, whether or not it would be a whole host of games that they think that they're able to try and get eyes on now, play it at Gamescom kind of thing, so that you can maybe put it in your stocking for Christmas or something like that. But yeah, super looking forward to it. I love PlayStation Showcase. I love every showcase. Like, any showcase that goes to, whether it's the Nintendo Direct or an Xbox party or the PlayStation Showcase or anything like that. I love all this kind of stuff. Just hype moments, man. Just talk about video games.
I mean, for me, it's the fact that it's a showcase and it's not a state of play. State of plays are fine. That's a Nintendo Direct. That's a treehousey sort of thing. I mean, it does the job. It does what it's meant to, but a showcase, just by proxy, lets you know that it's something a bit meatier. It might be pre-recorded, and that's the world that we live in now. All brands tend to do that. PlayStation, Xbox, Ubisoft, EA. It doesn't matter. It could be EA getting Greg. I was going to say Greg Miller, but I've got to call him Greg. No.
Fucking Greg Wallace.
No.
Get him on there.
No, I was going to say Greg Miller, but I've got to be true to form and change it to Greg James. I can't call him by his real name anymore. I mean, we'll throw in a Greg Wallace. We'll go with that. Greg Wallace, then. There we go. For anyone that doesn't know the context of that, I've previously called Greg Miller Greg James before, so there you go. Nice. So yeah, Greg Miller doing, I think he's done Ubisoft and EA, like broadcasts and stuff. Ubisoft Forward, EA Play. I think he's done both kind of thing, pre-recorded in the canned content. Whether it's that or whether it's Jeff Keighley doing something live from his XR studio, kind of whatever it is. Big fan of the longer conferences. Not so much the Jeff Keighley ones, not because I've got a vendetta against Jeff Keighley. I mean, I'm not a fan of the one-man army, I write the theme tune, sing the theme tune thing that Jeff Keighley does. But for all the hype Jeff Keighley stuff gets, he doesn't ever really have a banger message. I mean, he did a few years ago when he got the Xbox Series console reveal during the Game Awards. But beyond that, we've not really had anything. Gamescom and Opening Night Live is always a bit, that was a nice event. but nothing major lives on in the memory. And Summer Game Fest never really had anything. This year could be different, but that said, before Summer Game Fest happens, we have a PlayStation showcase, and around the same time as that, we have an Xbox showcase. So will Summer Game Fest actually even anything? We'll see. But even if it doesn't, we've still got that PlayStation showcase happening this week. Not even like first week of June as we were thinking. That 5th of June sort of week period, like maybe the 9th, 7th maybe, possibly, should I say? Yeah, that would be the Wednesday, the 7th. Maybe then? No, this week. So proper excited. But like I mentioned there, the key thing for me is this isn't 24 minutes. This is over an hour.
Yeah.
That is a long period of time when you've got... Let's split it up. Probably something mobile-ish, maybe, in there. Couple of minutes. I mean, PlayStation doesn't do a lot of that, so maybe not, but I'm just doing generic, the formatting of most conferences. Here's the mobile stuff we're doing. It could even just be PlayStation Stars and the mobile app, if that's what it is. But then a few minutes of family stuff, so PlayStation family-oriented games, 10 minutes of PSVR2 stuff. So you've lost 20 to 30 minutes of your time there. That's still 30 minutes left. And if you think, okay, in a state of play, you can get 5 or 6 games in about 12 minutes. There's still 18 minutes left there. 18 minutes. And there's none of the upfront, we're going to include 20 minutes of Resident Evil gameplay in this. And there's none of the, we've got 20 minutes of Final Fantasy gameplay in this. Or whatever it is, there is none of that stuff blocked off. So this could be a pretty exciting showcase. Whatever it is that's in there, PlayStation bringing us a showcase that's running for over an hour. There's got to be something tasty in there. There has to be.
I just hope it's not a load of talking heads. That's nothing worse than hype, and then like 15 minutes of talking heads. Don't want any of that stuff. I want it just to be smooth, slick. Here's this thing. Here's this thing. Here's this thing. Super exciting thing. This is when you can buy this thing. Here's this thing. Like I like flow shows like that. I want to be engaged the entire time. Like watching something for an hour, a lot of people's attentions probably start to wander away, and we've been burnt many times doing watch-alongs before.
Like software, we're gonna get Spider-Man. We're gonna see Spider-Man 2. Surely we have to be seeing Spider-Man 2. It comes out in September. This is only a few months before. We can't not see Spider-Man 2. Maybe we see some early Wolverine stuff as well. But then I feel like the reason I find it exciting is because we've spoken about it a bunch over the last few months and stuff. Bend Studios made Days Gone and haven't done anything since. What are Bend working on right now? Sucker Punch made Ghost of Tsushima, and some DLC for it, but then there's nothing since. What are they working on? And the same thing can be said for a bunch of PlayStation studios. So I feel like PlayStation turns into like a massive fucking giant windmilling, not with a penis, with the arms, just for clarification, maybe with the penis a little bit, who knows, but like windmilling either way, with like content left, right and center. You'll get periods where it has multiple games coming, and then it delivers those games. And we've done that. We've had God of War. We've had Horizon Forbidden West. We've had, obviously, going back last year, your Returnals, your Ratchet and Clanks, and before that, your Spider-Man Miles Morales and your Last of Us Part 1s and stuff. What's next? There is nothing next, really. Not on the PlayStation calendar. So I feel like this could be good. There is a lot of time there where they may not be going, this is what you're playing now. They may be, here's our roadmap for the next 2-3 years. But we'll see the Spider-Man and the Wolverine, and then we start to get what follows after that. So it could be exciting. Hopefully that is that sort of conference, and it's not just by the way, here's 15 minutes looking at the new DualSense Edge controller, by the way, because nobody's bought it yet because it was stupidly expensive. Hopefully it's not that. Is Wolverine 18 plus, or we're going to be fighting robots that bleed nuts and bolts?
It's not Ratchet and Clank.
I mean, it has been previously on consoles and stuff before. I'm not actually sure. Looking at all we've seen so far is pretty much the first scene of like X-Men where Wolverine sat at a bar and you get the snick of the claws kind of thing. I've got claws behind me. I just can't be asked going and grab the fuckers for this one because that's it. By the time I'd spend more time getting them than I would actually doing it. Anyway, I feel like we have to get some of that. Spider-Man was badass from Insomniac because you felt the inertia of flying through the city. they realize that 80% of your time is not going to be playing the game. It's going to be flinging around on a web. And they made that be super rewarding. So I feel like they have to do the same thing on Wolverine. And if you're getting these unbreakable adamantium claws, but then can't do anything with them, what's the point? What's the point? I'm just hitting some dude and he's just going, I'm not lopping bits of his arms off. Maybe we're not going to see the bits of the arms lopped off, but you want to be fucking impaling dudes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it has to be. It has to be. In my opinion, it has to be. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully. Okay, we'll put a pin in that because we are an hour into this already. And we've still got a bunch of stories. So we're going to pick up the pace over the next 3 and then jump into free game Monday. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, sticking with this. Maybe this is something that we get to see a little bit of potentially. Jim Ryan says it's too early to judge PSVR2's popularity. I expect 100% we've got some form of PSVR2 stuff in there. But anyway, I suppose it needs a little bit of love, as this article says. Tom Ivan at VGC says sales of PS5 VR headset have reportedly got off to a slow start because there is fucking nothing to play. But hopefully we'll get more stuff announced on Wednesday. Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan has suggested it's too soon to judge the popularity of the PSVR2. PS5's virtual reality headset launched in late February and retails for £530. Initially, it could be bought through Sony's PS Direct online store, or it could only be bought through that store, but it was made available at other retailers last week. Imagine that. There's no games for it, and you can only buy it directly from PlayStation, and for some reason, it's not selling a lot. I wonder why. PSVR 2 has just been launched, so it may be a little early to judge its popularity, but we are happy to see many positive reactions from users and the media. End quote, says PlayStation boss Ryan, who told Famitsu. He said that over 40 games were released around the launch of PSVR 2 and that many more are coming in 2023 and beyond. Quote, we will continue to push forward so that those who purchase PSVR 2 can enjoy it for a long time, and we can also secure profits, Ryan added. In late January, Bloomberg sources claimed Sony had halved its launch projections for PSVR 2 following disappointing pre-order numbers. They claimed Sony's shipment forecast will cut from 2 million to 1 million units in the first quarter. In response, Sony issued a statement claiming it had not cut PlayStation VR 2 production numbers. In March, Sony president and CFO Hiroki Toki said he thought PSVR 2 had a good chance of outselling its predecessor. Okay, we'll stop there. Jim Ryan says it's too early to judge the PSVR 2. Naturally, there is less games. Naturally, it doesn't have that backwards compatibility thing that people were hoping for. And naturally, you could only get it from one place, which was direct from PlayStation, which a lot of people, the majority of people, pretty much, I think every person I know that has a PlayStation hasn't bought it direct from PlayStation. So no wonder it's not selling a lot. And that could feed into why Jim Ryan says it's too early to judge its popularity yet. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, it's literally for all of those reasons. I agree with him that we can't really judge it in its current state. We can be super critical of it. But in terms of its lifespan, yeah, I think we're a little bit premature with it. Just off of the basis of no games. That's entirely their fault, by the way. Deciding to release the console without any kind of anything to play. I mean, they had the Horizon, what's it called? Horizon
Forbidden West?
Forbidden West, yeah, but was that the name of the VR game?
Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain, that's it. They had that going for it, which was obviously a very good experience, as people have been telling me. But not having compatibility with the games that they previously had, that stinks. That, like, obviously the Resident Evil 4 come out recently for the Meta Quest. I'm fairly certain that was actually an exclusive for it, so I'm not going to berate them too much for that. But the fact that they had the likes of Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 Village, I'm sure that's a Village, I think, is coming to PSVR fairly soon, if it's not out already. But they've got so many world-class, fantastic games in the original PlayStation VR, and they haven't made them backwards compatible. Just blows my mind. Like, your PlayStation 5 can play these games. I don't know. I'm not a tech person. I don't know how things are made, but I can't see it being that much of a huge problem, a complete stumbling block for them to be able to bring that forward. Again, I just could be completely off the rails with that one.
And do you know what? I fully agree. And once again, it's just like, babe, I'm not an emulation expert, but the PSVR 2 is an improvement on the technology that was in the PSVR. And fair enough, you can't use the I don't know what the phrasings are for the technology, so I'll use phrases to fill the gaps. They could be wrong. Just bear with that. So maybe you don't use the gyroscopic controls on the hands. I realise I look like when I'm doing one of those skating things now. Nobody clip this right now. No, not skating. Skiing. That's what I was looking.
You go skiing?
Yeah,
you go skiing, Graham. Yeah, of course you are.
Nice. So maybe you can't use the gyroscopic controls, and maybe the sensor on the front that can see either see your mouth or see your hands. I can't remember what it was. Maybe that doesn't work to the same extent, but you can still use something that emulates the functions that you had in the previous one. Surely the PS5 can do everything the PS4 can, bigger, stronger, faster, and better. So it just feels like the natural question is, why do you not just emulate that? There could be an answer. There could be an answer, but without giving that answer, people are like, but why? And it's just it's a question that's left
we
there.
can't is not on the table.
Yeah. It's like
just cause.
Just believe us, we can't say too much without giving too much away of our plans for the system or whatever. But for security reasons, we can't do that. So it's unfortunate. And at that point, you go, okay, maybe to do that, open some other stuff up, which allows people to backdoor into the system. Fair enough, whatever. But without that information, it's like, well, you can't fit a shit version of your old thing into the really cool version of the new thing. How does that work? On that bombshell, sorry. Smithy, thank you for 7 months, dude. I appreciate that very much. How you doing? And Sheep for 14 months. What a guy. What a guy. Smithy, you're local. Are you coming on Thursday? I've probably had this conversation with you, but there's 30 people coming, so I forget who I'm speaking to. There's a lot of people that are and a lot of people that aren't, and there's a lot of people that are, and I don't remember, so sort it right out if not, mate. All right, yeah. Sheep, thank you very much, dude. Sheep, I know you're not coming because you don't love us. I heard you talking about it in, was it Miss T stream earlier on when you was like, I don't go outside, and also Bibby's going, fuck that guy. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, fair dues. But, yeah, bit harsh, but whatever. Was supposed to be.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Yay!
Mr. Month. Fake.
Mr. Month. Fake. Fake. Fuck's sake, baby. You're Bibby. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Is there any words that you'd like to say to Bibby?
Fake.
Fake. You know, I don't know if I've done mine. I think I did mine the other day. I tried to start off a hype train on my own. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's the other week now. Maybe it was last month. Maybe I'm due a fucking sub. I don't know. Maybe it's the other week now.
I just miss not using the emotes when I'm not when I don't have it, and I go to use an emote and I can't use like the no or the ish. I just think I've not subbed this month. Okay, get it in. Ish.
There we go. Ish.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Thank you to me and to Bibby for supporting me and Bibby. Let's go. Nice. No, if you do have a primer and you do want to throw it down, feel free. But you can obviously do what Smithy and Sheep have just done, and that is sub to the channel. We absolutely appreciate that. As always, as we mentioned in the intro part of this show, we do put the funds back into the channel. So all the subs and stuff go back into buying new bits. You will see our sexy new mics if we do a stream from the studio tomorrow, and all the other stuff behind the scenes that you will see coming forward. Appreciate the support. Thank you very much. But Smithy did say I was supposed to be, but work short paid me 300 quid, so now I can't afford it. But you've been short 300 quid and you still sub to the channel. God damn. Do you know what? Just for that, Bibby will buy your drinks all night, Smithy. Absolutely. Every glass of water you want, he will pay as long as it's tap water, maybe with ice.
Yep. Absolutely.
He's a good lad, that bit.
I'll bring the Vimto.
just not a little bottle as well, one of those big fuck off ones.
3 litres.
Just fucking pulling it out. There you go.
I once met the guy who was the CEO of Vimto at a friend's wedding about 2 years ago. Tried to blag at least 2 crates. He wasn't having any of it and told me to go away. So, yeah, there's a little story for you.
I mean,
I'm not even joking. Genuinely, I'm not even joking.
Didn't even sort you out with any freebies. Vim tough, mate. Vim tough. Yeah, salt it right out, mate. Do you know what, on that bombshell? Let's put the pin in that. Let's jump ahead. So PSVR2 hasn't sold a lot, and that's probably because they made it stupidly ridiculous for people to buy it in terms of the amount of content and getting access to it. But, you know, we'll see if it changes. Next up, Sony once again. But this time the boss says we're going to be waiting 2 or 3 years before PlayStation games hit PC. So Jim Ryan was asked about PS5 exclusives during an interview with Famitsu, and this is the article. I guess it's going to be a while until we see a Steam page for Horizon Forbidden West. In a chat with Famitsu, spotted by the gamer and machine translated. Shout out to the AIs, let's go. PlayStation boss Jim Ryan reaffirmed Sony's commitment to keeping its exclusives off PC until fans have had their day with them. Quote, Sony fully understands the importance of PS5 exclusive titles, Ryan told Famitsu, saying that PS Studios' main responsibility is to have people enjoy the game experience using the latest PlayStation. To that effect, Ryan said Sony is committed to, excuse the awkwardness of the machine translation, increasing the number of PS5 exclusive titles and staggering the release of the PC version. End quote. How long will those PC versions be staggered, you ask? Well, Ryan didn't give a firm time span exactly, but he did mention that discussions with PlayStation fans suggest that, quote, selling the PC version 2 or 3 years after the release of the PS version is accepted favourably. End quote. So don't go thinking Sony is going to start picking up the pace of its PC releases just because The Last of Us Part 1 came out on PC a mere 6 months after it hit PS5. Given the state of that port, though, maybe that's for the best. Ooh! A little bit of salt thrown in there. Ryan hasn't dropped the bombshell here. Herman Hulst was saying all the way back in October last year that PC players would be waiting at least a year for Sony exclusives to hit PC. We can stop there because we get the idea. PlayStation loves its exclusives. And going back to the start of the generation, PlayStation said it does believe in exclusive titles. It does believe in selling its games on its platforms. It does believe in maybe using other platforms, but after the dust has settled, and they basically said that again. Herman Hulst, at least a year. Jim Ryan, 2 to 3 years before games hit PC that have been PlayStation exclusive. Does that change anything? Is that par for the course? What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I think them looking after their primary console first and giving people a reason to buy their console is probably the biggest little earner for them. Say biggest little earner, it kind of contradicts itself, but they want people to be able to buy PlayStations. Exactly why Xbox are
little biggest earner or littlest big earner, because then you could have gone the Little Big Planet. You're talking about PlayStation, so let's go.
I mean, that would have been far too obvious, Graham. And one that obviously didn't come to mind because it's far too obvious. But very much like Xbox, obviously trying to buy Bethesda, so that when you want to play the new Starfield game, you want to play the new Elder Scrolls. One of my lights has just run out of battery. Did you see that? They're just like dark on this side now. Yeah, they want you to be able to buy their console, so you end up having to spend all your money to end up playing these games. So it makes absolute sense to look after themselves first, obviously, and then anything after that, and get money from elsewhere. It makes sense for them to wait, though, because of how shit the games have been over on PC recently when they've tried to obviously port them over. They haven't probably spent as much time and effort as they probably should do to make sure that the games that are working on PC, which is a completely different beast from playing it on your PlayStation 5, and they've definitely found that out the hard way, that they just don't run the same. You need to spend a little bit more time refining how your games play on those different platforms. So yeah, I feel like at this moment in time, 12 months is definitely still not the play. Make it 2 years. Make sure that transition from putting it on your primary console onto playing it on different things is, 1, playable, and 2, worth your time, money, and investment into that.
No, that makes sense to me. Okay, question then. Something me and Bib spoke about in the build-up to starting this program, and that was a tweet that a friend of the channel, Lee Hunt, who actually works at PlayOn UK, so PlayOn, previously Koch Media, obviously make games like Saints Row and Dead Island and the like. Anyway, Lee, can you hear the music in the background, by the way?
Ish.
I'm going to shut the door. I think.
No, not too much, only when you're talking, but it's very, very, very low, very faint.
That bit noise gate kicking in then. Either Chloe or my neighbours are in the garden because the sun's out, just having an absolute sesh, and I'm not jealous at all. God damn. So yeah, the question or comment from Lee Hunt was that given the current state of games leaving subscription services and the current games that are being brought onto subscription services, in comparison, for the first time ever, PS Plus Extra is better than Xbox Game Pass. So with all of that weighed in, if we take that as gospel, obviously you can all have different opinions. I've not seen enough or used Game Pass. I mean, I've got Game Pass Ultimate. I have PS Plus, but not extra. I don't really. I mean, all I play is PUBG. Fuck's sake. So I don't know. But you guys can have your opinions. But we'll take that opinion as gospel. So PS Plus Extra, in terms of raw content and fresh content, not something that someone that's brand new to it can go, oh wow, someone that's looking for something that they didn't have last week, last month, last year. PS Plus Extra is now as competitive, if not more competitive than Game Pass. We'll take it as gospel. So that is working. Plus, their games are selling well and gives them an exclusive reason that they can use to sell their consoles for 2 to 3 years before they then milk that on PC. Is PlayStation winning the generation so far then? And to add,
in terms of
even more to that, I'm probably charging the answer here. To add even more to that, PlayStation's releases include the likes of God of War and Horizon and so on. Xbox's includes Halo and Redfall.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking strictly about the games, then absolutely.
We weren't talking about the game. That's probably so. I'll have that bit back off again then. So leave the games alone. In terms of their approach to having a system that has a specific purpose. The PS5 with its next gen games that come out and they're full price, and then you move them on to somewhere else. And Xbox having games that come out as part of Game Pass sporadically.
Again, I mean, like you say, it's a charged answer. I'm trying to think of it straight down the middle here. Obviously, having games having games on a subscription service for so cheap as well makes it so much more accessible, shall we say, than a 70 quid game, which at the moment in time, over the last, I don't know, 3-4 years, we've been buying games for full price, and they just haven't been. They've been underwhelming a lot of the times, whether or not that includes a day one patch or something like that. I'm still torn on this debate. Again, I know we said to disregard the games, but that is a system seller for me. Like if the game is worth, if it's a game or a franchise that I love, then I'm going to buy that console regardless of whether or not I've got the other one. I will literally save up to be able to buy it. Like we've mentioned loads of times about Bethesda obviously being bought out by Xbox. If that was the only way that I'll be able to play a new Elder Scrolls game, of course I'm going to save any money that I can to be able to put towards playing it on an Xbox, because that is a game, a franchise which is very near and dear to me. Same with Resident Evil. If that was a case that it was going to go console exclusive, of course I would try to do my best to be able to obtain that console to be able to play it. So a console is only as good as its games, and at this moment in time, Xbox just don't have them, and it's understandable why they are trying to buy themselves franchises and IPs. They have them. They don't know what to do with them at this moment in time, which is a crying shame. Look what they've done with Halo. Like, who'd have thought this 20 years ago? Jesus, yeah, so it's 20 years ago that we would have had Halo in its current state. Maybe people could have seen it a lot sooner because they seem to seemingly run out of ideas, but we've got to a point now where it's not unplayable, it's just boring as fuck. Like, why would you spend your time playing that stuff that you can go back and play the Master Chief Collection, which is a lot more inspiring than playing the brand new latest release, and probably the reason why most people ended up buying an Xbox Series S or an X in the first place. Like,
yeah,
I don't know where they go from here.
I suppose we were both trying hard to not say what we both feel, which is that PlayStation is doing better this generation. We were both trying hard. Let's cut off the games, which is kind of what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
Trying to find some sort of... I mean, Xbox does have a great offering, but PlayStation is slowly getting there with PS Plus Extra. Don't get me wrong, it's convoluted as fuck. Its naming convention alone means it should be thrown in the bin. But once you get past that... PlayStation subscription services are decent, but even looking at this article, the image in the article, God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us Part 2, or we'll say that's Part 1, that's probably just the original God of War there, and that's probably the original Horizon Zero Dawn. But fast forward, God of War Ragnarok, Last of Us Part 1 and 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and the Ratchet and Clank game that have all come out on the next gen have all been solid games. So in that sort of sense, I mean, PlayStation is hitting it better, and there's a reason PlayStation can wait 2 or 3 years before trying to cash in on those games, because they aren't available anywhere else, and they are that good that people will wait 2 or 3 years for them. Whereas bringing out half broken Halo and god awful Redfall, people won't. wait 5 minutes to not get rid of them. Fucking, yeah, it's gone. I didn't even own it. I'm not playing it. Fuck that shit.
It's just, if you think long term about, if you knew that whatever you were selling now, you're going to get not necessarily double, but you're going to get a quarter of what you've got now, because obviously the PlayStation 5 player base for buying a PlayStation 5 game, you know you're going to be earning money from that, especially if it's a first party game. And then you think, okay, if we've sold 2 million copies on PlayStation 5 when we release this over on the PC, which predominantly are PlayStation 5 players, but arguably there is a much bigger, wider pool of people that you may want to be able to play these games that only play on PC. Even if you got 1 million people buying that game, imagine forecasting that 2 years down the line to know that you're getting another injection of money coming through from a completely different player base.
I mean,
like,
most games
that's
can
unreal.
Get that sort of injection by giving it away for free. Being able to do that and then get another hit at the wallet is a huge coup. And that's kind of almost, it's almost like a positive. It's a double-edged sword for Microsoft, because they make games for the Xbox, which is much closer to PC in terms of doing that. Xbox's games will more often than not probably come out on both day one, day and date. But PlayStation goes, okay, well, just available on our PlayStation console, which makes it makes it scarce. It's almost like the vault that Disney has, where they put fucking Cinderella back into the vault. There's going to be no DVDs. It's not going to be on TV. It's not going to be this, that, and the other until we've got it scheduled in for 2027. It comes back and we'll have a big song and dance about Cinderella. At that point in time, fucking Frozen's being yeeted for another 5 years or whatever, so they can keep making people come back for it. And PlayStation have that sort of function by sticking it on PlayStation. It's vaulted to PlayStation only. And then 2 years down the line, when everyone's had their day, you bring it out on PC. People love it. And so then people start getting it on PlayStation as well, because it's just, it's great. It makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. If you are a PC player that doesn't want to wait 2 years, you can always get a PlayStation. I know that's not an answer for everyone, but that's the answer for PlayStation, and it works for them as a business, and it's working for them in terms of keeping content going and keeping revenue going. And it's quite interesting, because even though I will openly heavily criticize PlayStation for their attitude towards customers this generation, we coined the phrase "for the payers." Last generation was for, naturally, PS4, the players, and it was. They were doing all sorts of cool stuff off the back of Xbox than previous generation. This generation, they're less user-friendly. The backwards compatibility stuff just doesn't work the same. They were slow to bring in subscription services that people can opt into. And then they're quick to remove stuff from subscription services when they realize they can make more money off it next month and so on. So they are for the payers. They definitely are. But they're also much more refined as a games creation selling outlet by having plans for games coming next year and the year after and the year after, and how are they going to keep selling those in a staggered fashion and releasing them in a mostly finished fashion. Maybe not so much in PC, but day one patches and stuff, but mostly. I mean, even at its worst, with its day one patch stuff, The Last of Us and whatever games they've ported to PC aren't as bad as Redfall, and that is what it was meant to be. So, there you go. Anyway, we'll put a pin in the PlayStation loving. I know, obviously, there's a lot of people that watch the show that are Xbox users. We do have Xboxes, both of us. Bibby's got a Series S, I've got a Series X. We both play Xbox games. We streamed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles off our Xboxes not too long ago.
Heroes in a Half Shell.
We do like Xbox, but we are more closely aligned to PlayStation, but that doesn't mean that we're absolute fanboys. We absolutely will criticize them. It's just a shame that Xbox, after having so much steam coming into this generation, has fell off. It has. There's not that many games in Game Pass. Games are leaving Game Pass and are being replaced by weaker games. The system is getting tedious. There hasn't been any mainstream releases, and it's a shame that PlayStation are getting a free pass, allowing them to be for the payers. What are you smiling at?
I've just felt. Well, I haven't felt it. I just heard my what do you call it? Fucking door handle. So I think the boys outside on the landing somewhere. Yeah, I just heard him screaming. I just heard the door go.
Just come steaming in like Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that's what, walking in like Vince McMahon.
You love to see it. On that bombshell, One final story, nice wrestling tie-in. Jordan Miller at VGC says AEW Fight Forever, not Vince McMahon, will report a release in June. An announcement is expected in the coming days. So a very short article. Well, it's actually longer, but we'll keep it short. According to Fightful Select, an official announcement is expected next week, with AEW expected to announce that the game will release on June the 27th, which would coincide with AEW x NJPW Forbidden Door 2, which will take place 2 days prior on June the 25th. It's also been suggested that the announcement has been delayed due to the prominence and inclusion of AEW wrestler CM Punk, real name Phil Brooks, whose off-screen issues with AEW have seemingly upended several AEW-related announcements which are planned to feature the return of Punk. Earlier this year, there were conflicting statements from THQ. Do you know what? We'll leave that there. We'll leave it there. It's all rumour mill at this point in time, but one thing that has been confirmed is that AEW Fight Forever will release in June. I don't have the ability to open that up. So this article here is giving us, so this article was from yesterday, it is giving us an expected date of June 27th. Chap has posted something in the Discord, which may have given us a specific date of, where is it? Gaming chat? Can't find it. Or was it in the scoop? No, I can't even find it.
No, he posted it saying that it was Fight Forever is available on June 29th.
There we go. That was the one. Yeah. So that's the thing. I'd seen it, and that is from AEW Games. So this article that we got ready for you guys was from yesterday. So John Midler posted this last night, 7:20 p.m, and it's already out of date because it says it's expected to release on June 27th. That's not true. It has been confirmed today, June 29th. So just over a month and a week until. Nice. What? Gaming Nacho with his raids. Gaming Nacho with his raids. Woo! Nacho, it's 16 minutes to 5. It's 16:44. You're not allowed to be finished yet. God damn. This shows that Nacho's finishing a tad early and we're running a tad late when we get some Nacho love. Thank you very much, Nacho. I appreciate that very, very much. My first comment in Nacho's chat when I was watching him today was GTFO, because not only did Nacho come across people that the chat knew, it was Gazman and a few others, Jay Stokes I think it was as well, but not only did he come across people that he knew, people that were good at PUBG, he took out all 3 of them, the third one with a pan to the face. So I was just there like, get the fuck out. No, you can't be just doing that. God damn. But, you know,
Of course he did.
Nacho doing Nacho things. If you haven't, get yourself familiar with Gaming Nacho, because he is one of the best PUBG best PUBG content creators. Forget the inclusion of console. His gameplay is ridiculous because, as he says there, he paid them. All the paid actors. Do you know what? That guy gets a lot of cash because he pays a lot of people. I mean, so it's a one-man industry. Thousands of people kept in the job. Funny. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Red Rumble Fun, welcome in. Krusty, how you doing, Diddle? Hey, welcome back, dudes. I appreciate you dropping. Nacho, thank you very much for the raid. We just finished talking about AEW Fight Forever. I'll bring it up on screen. If you're interested in wrestling games, this article that we were covering from last night has been superseded. It says there, as I highlighted, June 27th, the game is expected to release. It's not the case. It has now been confirmed since we scraped this article that it will be releasing on June the 29th. So if you're interested in wrestling games, next month you'll have a new one. Nice. Before that, we spoke about Sony games coming to PC. Jim Ryan talking about PSVR2's early popularity, or lack of, and the fact that there is a PlayStation showcase on Wednesday this week. So we pretty much had a PlayStation loving, and before that we spoke about the new Mortal Kombat game. But you guys have joined us just as we're about to wrap things up, but we aren't quite ready to wrap things up, because if this was Friday, and it's not, if this was Friday, Bibby would be reaching over his left shoulder and he'd just whip out a guitar for your viewing pleasure. Oh, yeah.
Get a tune. Friday.
Oh, phone it. Do you know, the thing is, as soon as you got that in your hand, phone it, exclamation mark, FF'd, and I thought, hey, how's he playing this? And then I realised it was the command.
I don't need to do it now then, do I?
Nice. Well done, babe. So it's Free Game Friday, but it's actually Monday. So we weren't streaming on Friday last week, so we thought we'd roll this one forward to you. So if I bring this up on screen, this is written by Morgan Park and Lincoln Carpenter over at PC Gamer, and we cover this every single Friday. That's because...
Cover band.
What's that?
Was that Linkin Park cover band?
Lincoln Carpenter. You made me think, did I say Lincoln Park? I had to scroll back up to figure out what we were about then. So yeah, basically the Epic Game Store gives away a free game every week. Obviously, a lot of people that watch us play console, so it doesn't apply to everyone. But if you do have a PC, or you're thinking about getting a PC, or whatever it is, make sure you get yourself an Epic Games account. If you've got Fortnite or Rocket League or whatever, you will have one already. Just open up the Epic Game Store. If you've got the launcher on your PC, you can do it through that. If not, just do it through the browser, and you can get a free game every week. This week, it's actually a doozy, because the free game is Death Stranding. So Epic is kicking off its mega sale by giving away the world's favourite, maybe only, Strand game. In Death Stranding, sample the finest Kojima brand fever dream as you work to reconnect an American continent in the wake of a global disaster. Hand build a new nationwide infrastructure through asynchronous online collaboration, earning likes from your fellow players and a reward to your warm heart when you're clumsily spilling your delivery packages down a hillside. Nice. But if that's not enough, this game is free until Thursday, about 4 p.m. UK time. It will be replaced by a mystery game. I actually quite like when Epic does a mystery game, because 9 times out of 10, it's spicy. If they're giving them, like, one of the mystery games was GTA 5. Like, you don't just throw out GTA 5 like it's nothing. But Epic do. I mean, occasionally you do get some absolute vomit comics, but it is what it is. So we'll see. Free game Friday. Let's go. Timing was epic. It was spot on. Baby picked up his it wasn't even a real guitar. It was a Guitar Hero guitar, and it looked like he was playing it while he was shooting it. So nice.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you want a copy of Death Stranding and you've got a PC, please do feel free to check out the Epic Game Store. We don't have any Epic Game Store codes, so we're not pushing it for a sell or a spawn or an ad or anything like that. We may do one day. Today is not that. It's just letting you know what you can get free, because we like to do that. Nice. For now, though, we are going to wrap things up. So whilst you've only just joined us from Nacho Stream, if you come in with a raid, the rest of us have been here for an hour and a half, which is not bad considering it's an hour-long show. So let's go. So yeah,
there was a lot of football talk for the first hour, half an hour, wasn't there?
Well, we've been off for 3 weeks, so we've got a lot of catching
There's a lot
up
to go through.
Yeah, so if you are watching this, please do feel free to come back. We'll be live tomorrow, hopefully, for our first stream from the ICU studio, Mark 2.5 or whatever it is. It's not quite Mark 3 yet, because everything that you guys will see on stream will probably be the same, mostly. But we've done some upgrades, so we should be in our studio tomorrow for an episode of The Scoop. So if you do want to join us for that, drop a follow now. That way you will get notified when we go live tomorrow, and we'll bring you all the video game news that we go through then. Beyond that, you can join us on Wednesday for some PUBG. Not Thursday. And probably not Friday, because we will be at format / recovering from format. Unless we do a late one on Friday. But then Saturday and Sunday, you can get some more PUBG and whatever baby's playing on the weekend.
Yeah, we've got Dead Island.
Did you finish Resi?
Ready and waiting. I finished Resi, yeah. Finished it in the last one.
Nice.
I think we played for like nearly 4 hours. Not last Sunday, not Sunday before last. So yeah, do we continue with Dead Island, or do we find something else instead?
Ooh.
Interesting.
Do you know what? You can tune in on Sunday and find out. Bibby usually goes live around 9 a.m. So if you're up
it's an early one.
Sunday morning, you're in bed, you can't sleep, just flick on the TV, open up the Twitch app, job's good, and we've got you covered. You don't even have to get out of bed. Sit there maybe grab yourself a brew and a butty or whatever and sit back in bed. A couple of hours, job's good, and let's go. Easy. For now, though, we are going to finish up. We will throw up the end slate. We will drop a raid on one of our friends, because we like to pass on the love, just like Nacho has just done with us. So please do feel free to stick around, go ahead with the raid. Not only do we get to help out another channel, but you do get extra sprinkles that you can use on this channel, which we do pretty often. There was actually, on Saturday, a sprinkles, that's our channel points, by the way, a sprinkles throwdown of nearly 1 million points for one gamble. Yeah. It was Nietzsche, Beans, JMK, like they were kind of like some of the big hitters. Basically, Nietzsche took a chunk of Beans' sprinkles back after Beans has like been ripping Nietzsche for months. It was about 40k off him. So like Nietzsche went all in. Beans threw in like 250,000. David did 100 grand. JMK did like 250,000, and then basically Nietzsche, who went from having a bit of money to I've got a little bit of money now, to no money again, because Beans took it all back off him and won like 500,000 off of that. So yeah, There you go. You will get sprinkles that you can give to Beans in future predictions. So, yeah, feel free to stick around for that. Before that happens, though, is there all you'd like to add, Mr. Bib?
Do you know what? I'm not sure. It's been so long since I said this. This could be completely ballsed up. But, if you do have any video game news that you want to be able to share with us, if you want to talk about it, if you want to hear our thoughts and opinions on it, there is 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream at Olds across all major social media platforms. Alternatively, get involved with our Discord. If you're not in there yet, don't worry about it. Go into the description below. All the links that you require will be listed there for you. But all we need from you is the URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow? Live from the ICU studios. Mr. Graham Day.
Who knows? I mean, 10 a.m.
Ish.
10 a.m. We work in the video games industry. We do a lot of worky bits, so we bring you the podcasts whenever we can. That's why we say 10 a.m. ish. We've got an emote for it because it is what it is. So we'll be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. ish. Do me a favor, sit where you are. We are going to drop a raid on. I've decided that we're going to drop a raid on Miss T because we don't often get much chance to raid Miss T, and I'm pretty sure Miss T raided us when she had the opportunity just last week before, whenever it was. So stay where you are. We will drop in and pass on a little bit of love to Miss T. But for now, have yourselves a beautiful day. The sun is shining in Manchester, so hopefully it is wherever you are in the world. Go out and get some of the D. Vitamin D, that is, from the sun. Don't mean the penis.
Touch grass, bro.
Whatever, you can touch penis if you want. But anyway, have a good evening.
Touch ass.
What? Stay